Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Crafting with Holly. Thank you so much for joining me, and if you haven't already, go ahead and click that like and subscribe button so that you are notified every time I come in here and share a new video. So how many of you have a lot of pictures from a recent trip, or maybe it's a special event that you just had? Well, I found myself in this very situation where I have all of these amazing pictures from a trip that I took with my daughter back in October. And I actually started scrapbooking those pictures and shared this collection, which is the Bring Back My Paper collection for, oh my goodness, my brain just had a pause. Skylark. It's the Bring Back My Paper Pack Skylark, and it's available through the end of January. And there is a gorgeous workshop that will create these 3 double pages. And I was able to capture quite a bit of pictures from our trip. We went to Reims, which is a champagne area of France, and toured 2 separate champagne vineyards, and also got to go see the church where Dom Perignon was buried. And that's where I ended with my pictures, and I was like, oh my goodness, I have all of these pictures of inside the church and of the last winery, champagne. It's really not a winery, it's a champagne house that we toured, and I wanted to get those pictures in with this beautiful paper collection, but I didn't want to have to create more layouts. So what I decided to do is share with you how to use our flip flaps and our Pocket Plus pages to actually extend my story. And what I'm going to use are these Pocket Plus pages for 4x6 photos, but I'm going to show you how I use them with a 4x4 photo. And then I'm also going to use the new Pocket Plus Design 5, which is specifically for 4x4 pictures. But I wanted to point out to you in our catalog where you can find all of those amazing Pocket Plus pages. So the ones that I'm using today are right here, and these are Design 2. And they are 10 page protectors that house 6 horizontal pictures. And then I'm also using the Design 4, which is, whoops, not Design 4, sorry, Design 5, which house 3 4x4 pictures, and there are 10, again, page protectors, and you can use them front and back, and I'm going to share with you how I do that. But these are some of the other designs that we have available, and we now have them available for the strap hinge albums. And we also came out with, I want to say, the 4x4s for strap hinge as well, which is pretty exciting. So that is in our current Essentials catalog, and I will link that in the comments below. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just put these little guys out of the way and bring in this amazing Pocket Plus page. And what I did is I took some of the leftover papers that I had from the Skylark collection, and I cut them into 4x6 pieces. And then I also cut them into 2x6 pieces. And I'm going to share with you how I take these and put them in here and continue my story. So let's get started. So I'm just starting to take the 4x4 photos that I printed off of Persnickety's prints. And I'm also taking the pattern paper, those 2x4 pieces, and I'm tucking those in. And I'm also sliding in the pictures on the front and the back. It's a lot easier than it looks. It's so much more challenging when you're talking and recording and trying to do this. So I promise you it's a lot faster process than what I'm making it look like. But I'm just taking those pattern pieces. I've also stamped on some of these with the new Remember This Moment stamp set in archival ink in the black. And I'm just taking the photos, putting them in the order that I want, and then adding the decorative paper next to them and sliding these in. And I'm adjusting them, which is, again, it's a lot easier if you have these already assembled before you slide in, but for this purpose of this video, I wanted to show you the entire process from start to finish. And then I took some of the extra pictures that I had, and I'm using the 4x4 flip flaps, and you can stick them right onto the outside of these page protectors, which is so fantastic. So it really makes this pocket page very interactive. And so these are the new white word strips that I'm also using with this Remember This Moment stamp set. And again, I stamped them on archival ink, and I'm just using glue dots to attach them inside the Pocket Plus with the photos. And then I'm also using some of the leftover wood grain die cut shapes that I had left over from the workshop. And again, I'm using glue dots to secure them down. That one got a little stuck, so I had to finagle that, trying to work inside the page protector. Again, like I said, build these on the outside and then slide them in. But for this purpose of this video, I wanted to just show you the process, how I do this from start to finish, and finally get that secured on there. So once I get those done, I'm just embellishing the other pages before I move on to the back side. And I just love how simple this is. I'm a pretty simple scrapbooker, so my embellishments are very simple. My whole point of this is to extend the story and get more pictures onto my scrapbook without having to actually create layouts with them. So I love the fact that you can use these 4x4 flip flaps and also these Pocket Plus pages. And again, I'm just embellishing that last one, and now I'm ready to turn over and do the back side. And I'm also using these fabulous journaling strips that are also in the catalog. And if you don't have those journaling strips yet, I would encourage you to get them. Oh my word, it's really helping me get my journaling done and in my scrapbooks after I create the pages. And I love these. You can cut them down to size. I cut them down to 5.5 inches. And they're all in various widths. And look at how quick and easy attaching your journaling is to these. It's so fabulous. So I'm just tucking that in at the top, and now I'm getting the pictures from my trip, and I'm just tucking them in. And this was a little bit cumbersome for me, so I actually ended up rearranging some things because I didn't like how my journaling was going in the same direction. So in just a minute, I'm actually going to pause the video and I'm going to reconfigure these a little bit, and you'll see that in just a minute. But again, you can use flip flaps on both sides of these. That's what's so brilliant about them. And I'm also, there you go, you can see that I had to reconfigure that page. Made it a lot easier, made it flow a lot better. And again, I'm attaching that flip flap, and if you don't like the placement of it when you first get it down, it's very forgiving, and it worked out beautifully. And so now I'm adding some of the blue dots, or actually they're the teal dots, to this. So I still have some more pictures that I need to add. So I'm going to use the 4x4 Design Plus, and I'm also going to use Remember This Moment stamp set and the die cut word strips, and they're found on page 46 in the current January-February catalog. And I had some leftover paper from Skylark and some more of those die cuts. I promise you, I am trying to use up everything from this collection. I am all about consuming. So I've just taken the extra paper, those word strips to create my journaling, and I'm just going to accent in some of these pockets. I'm just using glue dots to take the die cuts and put them on there, and use some of those leftover teal dots. And it's just such a super easy way to decorate these pages, but also continue your story. And I am all about the story. So I'm just adjusting those dots on there, and then very carefully sliding this in and getting those pictures in there. And we love to take pictures of our food, so I love to share the story about what we got at the restaurant. And so I'm just sharing how I took my blending brush and I'm just inking those word strips. And I love them because they're such a nice corrugated chipboard, so they're very sturdy. And just assembling, and I just took the idea from one of the cards from the corporate workshop to create these additional 4x4 journaling mats. And I just love how easy these journaling strips are, and you can take your scissors and trim them down as you need to, but they just come together so quickly, and they worked perfectly in these pockets. And so I'm just adjusting that box that I created because I wanted to be able to show the decorative elements too, but I also wanted my journaling to be equal and balanced. So I don't know if you remember the first video that I created, but I shared how to do the stenciling, and I took those pieces that I demoed and I'm using them on my journaling strip. And I'm just trying to figure out where to put some of these clusters that I created, and you'll see where I put them at the end. But I'm just trimming off those journaling strips right now just to fit in those spaces. And it really does come together so nicely, and I love these extra Pocket Plus pages. So I'm just tucking in those last two journaling pieces into the flip flaps, and then I'm adding the 4x4 flip flap right on the top. I love that. You can truly expand your photos without having to scrapbook them by using flip flaps and Pocket Plus. And I made a mistake on that title, so I just flipped it over and voila, it worked out beautifully. So I'm just accenting with, again, some of those pieces, and that's all there is to it. So I really hope that you enjoyed watching these videos and have learned something more about how to get more pictures onto your pages without scrapbooking. Thanks so much.